Hey, what's up, guys? Check out this preview of a sit-down I did with Gary Clemente, who came on the channel to discuss the amazing career of his father, Peter Clemente. Gary's father was a 26-year veteran of the FBI and member of the elite top Hoodlum Squad. His father investigated some of the biggest mob bosses in the country, and this is just a preview of our discussion. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the full interview of previously unknown stories from the career of FBI agent Peter Clemente.
Because my dad was in New York at the time, he wanted to get transferred to something that was being newly formed by Hoover. It was called the Top Hoodlum Program. While he was in the Top Hoodlum Squad, he was the first one ever to do a face-to-face on the street interview with Carlo Gambino.
Wow.
Who is Carlo Gambino? Carlo Gambino happened to be the most powerful mob boss in New York at that time. He was the capo di tutti capi in Italian, which means the boss of bosses.
Right.
But one day he waited for Gambino to leave his home. My dad's waiting in his car, and he sees Gambino up at the door. My dad waited for him to come out, and he was by himself. By himself? You say, how could he be by himself? He's got to have bodyguards, right? No, he had no bodyguards. He was that powerful. He didn't have to worry about it. The neighborhood knew who he was. They evidently they loved him. They would have protected him probably. And so he approached my father as he came up the sidewalk, and my dad got out of his car and accosted him face to face and said, "Excuse me, Mr. Gambino. My name is Peter Clemente." My dad was speaking to him in Sicilian, much of it, with some English. And he said, I'm Peter Clemente. I happen to be with the FBI, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if that's possible." And Gambino said, "Excuse me, you say you're who?" "I'm with the FBI." He says, "You're with the FBI? Just your name is Clemente? You're Sicilian. I hear you talk Sicilian. So you're one of us." Says, why are you bothering? Why are you bothering me?" He says, "Well, because there's some very important things that you know about." And so he interrupted him. He said something to him, profane. And he says, "Yeah, I've got nothing to tell you. I'm an honest man. I have nothing to tell you, and I don't know why you're bothering me. You should be ashamed of yourself." My father said, "I should be ashamed of myself? You should be ashamed of yourself. All of us within the Italian community are ashamed of you for what you've done to our people, the bad name that you've given our people." Well, Gambino didn't like that. He says something in Italian, which means "F you, va fanculo," turned his back on and walked away, left my father there.
I'm sure Gambino, he wasn't used to being talked to that way. I'm sure that caught him off guard.
No, not at all. You did not approach Gambino unless you were a made guy.
Right.
Even if you're an associate on the street, you couldn't approach him. He was that powerful.